This conference will now be recorded.
Great. So hi everyone, welcome to the RC session. We are going to discuss 3 RCs today, which I shared with you yesterday on the WhatsApp group attempt. Let's start off. We have the first RC on your screen, and the first question for this was, what is the primary purpose of the passage? What is the primary purpose of the passage? What are the answers you all are getting? Shoot your answers. Few are saying B, few are saying C. I'm seeing a battle between B and C. Suddenly A is thrown in the ring as well. So now I have A, B, and C in the ring. Okay. I see more of A, B, and C. A lot of people going for C. Initially, some went for B. Now I see some A's also. Okay, one thing is for sure that D and E cannot be my answer. Can I eliminate D and E? Okay, let's go back and try to understand the primary purpose of the passage. Great. So let's just read. In an unfinished but highly suggestive series of essays, the late Sarah has focused attention on the evolution of working women's values from the turn of the century to the First World War. Argues that this. Then where do we go? In thus maintaining that wage work helped to produce new consciousness. I'm over here. I will just highlight this part. In thus maintaining that wage work helped to produce a new consciousness, Einstein to some extent challenges the recent controversial proposal by Leslie Tentler that for the woman the work experience only served to reinforce the attractiveness of the dominant ideology. According to the Tentler, is a good part of my passage also comparing Tentler's theory with Sarah's theory. In the first part, right? Unfortunately, but if you would see what the author is doing, she has not used Tentler's theory to directly draw only the comparison between Tentler and Sarah, but she has used Tentler's views to evaluate or to say talk about in detail for Sarah's theory, where at the end she says, and this is where my primary purpose I would be able to arrive at, while raising important questions, Einstein's essays do not provide definitive answers, and it remains for others to take up the challenges they offer. Also here she says, Sarah's unfinished study does not develop these ideas in sufficient depth or detail, offering tantalizing hits rather than exhaustive analysis. Can I say, in an unfinished but highly suggestive series of essays, this happened. Then she brings in Tetler to highlight a point about Sarah's theory. She again goes back and keeps on talking about Sarah's theory throughout the passage. Can I say that she has not drawn that direct comparison between the two? Rather, she has just used the argument of Tentler to be able to talk in detail about Sarah's theory. Can I say this? Do we all agree that there is no direct comparison throughout the passage? There are, so for example, if I have to say only 25% of the passage talks about Tentler's theory, rest entire passage is about Sarah's theory, correct? 25% is about the comparison, rest 75% is solely about Sarah. Perfect. Has she anywhere criticized negatively the Sarah's theory or appreciated it positively? Yes or no? Or she has just tried to put up a very objective view, saying that the theory was fine, it was going fine, but it was very superficial. It could have been elaborated a lot in detail, correct? in a very layman's term? Is this what I can say? Okay. Then, if that is the case, let's move back to our question. It's not, it's Ishan, last paragraph is not criticism. It is a very objective view. She has given the arguments earlier that she did not interview a lot of women. She did not get into a lot of sources to quote her studies. Criticism is not when I am saying that this is good at superficial stuff. This could have been more exhaustive. This is what she is saying. Now I need to evaluate between A, B, and C. Definitely C cannot be my answer. Do we all agree? Snehal, do you understand? We cannot compare two sociological theories. We cannot say that this is the purpose of the passage. C is gone. I am left between A and B. The difference between A and B is, first, B is specific about women's study. A is not specific about women's study. A is saying scholars, assumption, and methodology. Right? Now, first. Second, is when I am objectively trying to come up with a view about a certain thing, am I being critical or am I being evaluatory in approach? Am I evaluating or am I criticizing when I'm coming up with objective views? Criticism may not always come with objective views. Do we all agree with this? Now, if we agree that the author has been objective throughout the passage, she has used proper arguments, and she has not subjectively tried to criticize Sarah, can I say that B should be my answer and A should not be? Majorly because of the difference between criticize and evaluate. Do we all agree? Anyone, any doubt? Snehal, Ishan, is it clear? Uddeshya, is it clear now? Anushka, is it clear? Perfect. I am moving to the next question. This should be an easy one. It can be inferred from the passage that in Sarah's view, working women at the turn of the century had which of the following attitudes towards the dominant ideology of their time? This was easy. Most of you should get it correct. It's directly pulled out from the passage. Right, correct. All of you are getting it correct. It's D, option number D. They accepted some, but not all, aspects of the dominant ideology. Kavya, the answer for the first question is option number B. Option number B is the answer for first question. Second question, option number D. D for Delhi for question number 2. B for Bombay for question number 1. Anyone who has any doubt in question number 2, or this was a very straightforward one? Any doubts, anyone, in question number 2? Why not E? They believe that the dominant ideology isolated them from one another. This is fine. They believe this. But this is not what should be my inference. My inference, as put up in the passage, was they accepted some part of the dominant ideology. They accepted some aspects of it, and they did not accept some aspects of it. That is what is talked about. What you are saying in option number E is limiting the scope of my inference. This is a part of it, that they believed that the dominant ideology isolated them from one another. That's a part of it. But they accepted some, they did not accept some, is what is there in the passage. So Tushar, E is limiting my scope. E is getting very specific, and it's not covering the overall view which is being mentioned. This is a part of that view. This is not the whole view. Okay, Tushar? Perfect. Question number 3. Question number 3. Which of the following best describes the organization of the first paragraph of the passage? This means that what is the purpose of the first passage only? Everyone is saying C, C, Madhura says C, Tushar says C, Anupriya C, Vipul C, PS C, Anushka C. I'm waiting for more answers. Anjali also says C. Was this that easy? All of you are getting it correct? All of you have got it correct? Yes. A theory is presented, an alternative viewpoint is introduced, and then the reasoning behind the initial theory is summarized. This is correct. Option number C. All of you got C? Anyone who is getting any other option? Anyone who is getting anything else? Great. Great. Happy to see that all of you got this one correct. Question number 4. Question number 4. Which of the following would the author of the passage be most likely to approve as a continuation of Sarah's study? And what does the author think was missing? The lack of going to lot of sources, mostly the first-hand sources. Who will be those first-hand sources? Who will be the first-hand sources? If I have to get into the elaboration and the detail of the tantalizing hints which Sarah presented, those women, right? The female workers, the female wage earners, right? We all agree with this part. Now I see that someone said D, so some people said B, some people said C. So I am seeing, no, we have to evaluate B, C, and D as the options. Let's see. A and E we are rejecting. Let's go to option number D. A theoretical study of how socialism and feminism influenced one another at the turn of the century. No, this does not allow me to get into the detail. She wants me to go to the sources. She wants me to. She would have loved if Sarah went in depth with those sources to be diving deep into her theory, which she currently hit at only the surface. A theoretical study will not help me. Correct? I will eliminate option number D. Do we agree? Anjali, you said D. Do you agree with this? That why am I eliminating D? Okay. Option number C, an assessment of what different social and political groups defined as a dominant ideology. No, not at all. Completely irrelevant. My answer has to focus on the female wage earners. They are my sources. Am I correct? Can I eliminate C? Can I eliminate C also? My answer to this question is option number B, because that is something which is going to help me deep dive with the help of sources which are no one but female wage earners. Option number B is my correct answer. Perfect. So while the first question was slightly tricky, 2, 3, and 4 were not that tricky, but wanted us to focus on certain special words in the passage. Correct? We are done with passage number 1. Correct answer for question number 4 is option number B, B for Bombay. Let's move to the passage which had 6 questions and was a very, very easy passage to read. And the questions were majorly focused on first half of the passage. Shoot your answers. Question number 1. Sneha says E, Nayan says B, Ishan E, Anupriya E, Arshi A. I'm seeing a battle between A, B, and E. A, B, and E is where the battle is going. Is there any new option also coming into the ring? It's A, B, and E for now. Okay, so Vani also puts her weight behind A. Madhura puts it behind E. Okay, so A, B, and E is where the war is. C and D I can eliminate. Okay, C and D eliminated. Let's get to what the passage is doing. Let's Just read the first sentence of the passage. The delegates to the Constitutional Convention were realists. This is somewhere used in one of the questions. Realist means practical, pragmatic. They knew that the greatest battles would take place after the convention. Can I say that battles are nothing but the conflicts? Can I say that the greatest conflicts would take place after the convention once the constitution had already been drafted and signed? Correct? Are you all with me till this point of time? That the delegates were practical, were pragmatic, and they knew that the actual conflict would happen after the constitution has been drafted and signed. That's it. Now tell me, the entire passage after this, is it about the instances before the draft and signing, or is it after draft and signing? Rest of the passage. It's before. It's telling you the process of drafting and signing. It's comparing that how the usual drafting and signing should happen, but they are going for another route of ratification. It's before signing, before draft, before signing. When I say that the constitution has been drafted and signed, I mean that it has been approved by a particular house. So for example, if India brings a bill, I will only say that the bill has been drafted and signed once both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have approved it. If I have to draw an analogy to the Indian context. We are talking about the pre-conflict situation in the rest of the passage because we are talking about how to get it passed. How to get it passed is what the delegates are being clever about. They are not going for a typical route. Definitely not A. Author is nowhere comparing the two opposite sides in a battle. It is only talking about how the delegates are looking at getting it approved because they are afraid that the Congress is not going to approve it. And hence they are going for the route of ratification. Analyzing the effects of an event, no, effects would have been analyzed later. Event is yet to happen. The correct answer is option number E, describing the background of conflict. Answer is option number E. I am not analyzing the effects of an event because there is no event which has happened yet. I am not pulling out two sides and just comparing them. Hence, I'm not contrasting the two opposing sides. Rather, I am talking more about the situation pre-conflict, and hence describing the background of conflict is the best possible answer. Am I making sense now? Am I making sense? Okay. My correct answer is option number E. This second question should be easy. Tell me the answer for question number 2. Right. All of you are getting D. Anyone who is not getting D? Anyone who is not getting D? Yes, Kashish, you are correct. Yes, Shama. Yes, Nayan. It's D. Answer to question number 2 is D for Delhi. I hope all of you have got it correct. In case anyone has doubt in question number 2, please ask me your doubt. Okay, great. Question number 3. What is the meaning of the word unicameral? Okay, Snehal asks, yes, Kashish, it's unicameral means one house, a single legislative chamber. Snehal is asking why not C for question number 2. Now, if you would go back to the first paragraph end in the passage, you will simply say, you will read that the delegates were trying to be clever by not going to Congress, but going to the state ratification because they knew that the Congress is not going to approve it. It's directly mentioned in the last part of the first paragraph. They never considered it to be more democratic to appeal directly to the citizens. They took it as a clever way to go for a unicameral, chamber for your state ratification. Even for state ratification, they did not go for multi-people chamber, but they were going for a single person chamber. What should be my answer for question number 3? It's B, we just discussed. It's B, unicameral. Unicameral, according to the passage, in contrast to most state legislatures, state ratifying conventions were unicameral, and that is exactly why the delegates took that approach. Am I correct? Delegates never wanted to go for a majority approach. They never wanted to go for a democratic approach. They never wanted to go for a Congress approach. They wanted to get it passed through a way where they just need very few people involved, and the unicameral chamber was that way. Do we all agree with this? Question number 3, it should be B. Anyone who thinks any other option should be the answer? Answer for second question, Ashin, is option number D, D for Delhi. They believed that Congress would not accept the sweeping changes they had proposed. It's mentioned in the last part of the first paragraph. Unicameral means a single person's chamber. Okay, people? Question number 4, easy one. All of you should get it correct. How can you do this? No, people, no. It's the first paragraph says they were realist. They were practical. They were pragmatic. So they were never persuasive. If they were persuasive, they would have gone to the Congress. They were not idealistic. They wanted to go for the short routes. They were not idealistic. They just knew that how to get their work done. Enlightened, nowhere. Visionary, no. Shrewd, yes. Clever, yes. Radical, no. Liberal, no. Eloquent, no. So clever, yes. Shrewd, yes. Pragmatic, yes. My answer will be option number D. They were shrewd, yes, but they were not visionary. Anupriya, if I'm going for option A, they have to be both shrewd and visionary. Shrewd and clever, they virtually mean the same thing. But between visionary and pragmatic, they were pragmatic and not visionary. Eloquent means someone who can speak very well and can convince the person. Eloquent means very well when a person who is very good in articulation. Pragmatic means practical. Understood, Vipul? Understood, Uddeshya? Understood, Anupriya? That why am I not going for option A and why am I going for option D? Shrewd and clever, they are same. The difference between A and D is visionary and pragmatic. Okay. Question number 4, option number D, D for Delhi was my correct answer for question number 4. Question number 5. Okay, I see the battle between A, B, and C. Okay, Sneha says B, Anushka says E. Okay, so I virtually have all the options. No one for D? Someone should throw D also in the ring. Okay, so we are sure that the John Mercer's quote is not clarifying a preceding quotation. Okay, good. Let's go back to the passage where the Mercer's quote is mentioned. It's mentioned here. That's it. Furthermore, in New York, for example, Clinton's example, Elbridge example, John Mercer's example, three examples are given to refer to many of the anti-federalists were as distrustful of the common people as their opponents. Are my three examples referring to this? We have three examples. Are my three examples referring to this? Yes or no? That's where my answer would lie. So that's why I'm asking that. Tell me if you understand that the three examples given over here. Anushka, I could not understand what you were saying when you were saying that nothing is a keyword here. Now, coming to the fact that there are three examples given to illustrate one thing. We all remember now. Go back to the question. The author's quotation of John Mercer serves which of the following functions in the passage? It summarizes the last paragraph? Not at all. One point is being talked about anti-federalists, and we are elaborating that point with the help of three examples, out of which one example is John Mercer's quote. Am I correct? The last paragraph is talking about anti-federalists, and there is one point about them, that they also are distrusted by the common people. And then there are three examples to elaborate on the same. Am I correct? Monisha, Vani, Saransh, Udeshya, Anushka. Okay. So can I say that it summarizes the last paragraph? Exactly, Anushka. Can I say that it summarizes the last paragraph? Yes or no? Does the purpose of John Mercer code was to summarize the last paragraph? Yes or no? No. Perfect. Does it articulate the main point of the passage? Does it articulate the main point of the passage? Not at all. Are we all on the same page? It does not articulate the main point of the passage. It does not even express a general conclusion. Rather, it furnishes a concrete example. Am I correct? That the quote is serving as a concrete example, nothing more, nothing less. Anushka, do you agree? A means it summarizes the last paragraph. The quote is not summarizing the last paragraph at all. There is one point mentioned in the last paragraph to which it is acting as a example. Concrete example means a specific example. It is not expressing a general conclusion at all. It is elaborating on one of the points mentioned about the anti-federalists. Concrete example means a specific example. Yes, all the examples are concrete. Anupriya, all the examples are concrete. If I say India has not performed good in World Cup, and then I refer to India's performance in XYZ World Cups, the sentence about India's performance in X World Cup, in Y World Cup, in Z World Cup, all the three are concrete examples to elaborate that India did not do well in World Cups. All the examples about a specific point are concrete examples. Yes, this example does show the distrust of common people, but that is not the entire, it's not the main point of the entire passage, and neither is the distrust statement my general conclusion of the entire passage. Yes, Ishan, you are correct. Concrete does not mean that this is the only example. This means that this is a specific example to elaborate a point. It does not summarizes it. It elaborates it. An example never summarizes anything. Example elaborates a thing. Example elaborates a point. Example never summarizes a point. Anushka, are you able to get it now? Anupriya, do you understand it now? Udesha, everyone? I'm sorry, whatever names come on my screen, I keep calling those names does not mean that I don't want others to understand. It's just that whatever names are there on the screen in the chat window. Okay. So I hope this question is clear now. Great, Saransh. So this question is clear now. My answer is option number B. Perfect. Thank you, Pratap. Let's move to the question number 6. Tell me the answer for question number 6. What should be the title of the passage? Sneha says D, Arshi says D, Udeshya D, Shweta D, Shan D, Anupriya D. Anushka, what's the answer you are getting? Saransh D, Anju D. Vipul also says D, Anushka also says D. Tushar says D. Yes, the correct answer is option number D. The battle for ratification of the constitution is the correct answer. Correct answer is option number D, as rightly said by all of you. Pretty good stuff with the title question. Anyone who is getting any other answer? Anyone who is getting any other answer as a title? Okay, great. Let's move to the next question, to the next passage. Was an easy one. This passage, I believe, was the easy one. How did you find passage 3? I am expecting all of you to get 3 to 4 correct in this one. Tell me the answer for question number 1. Saransh C, Ishan C, Snehal C, Anupriya C, Anushka C, Anjali C. Yes. The correct answer is option number C. Contradictory accounts of Florence Nightingale's historical significance. Perfect. Udeshya E. The effect of the Crimean War on developments in the field of healthcare. Or is it a typo, Udeshya? Udeshya, what's making you mark option number E? Okay, great. Then it's fine. But in case you have any doubt, please do ask. Don't get into pressure that everyone else has answered C. The correct answer is option number C. Contradictory accounts. I guess this was pretty easy. Pretty easy was highlighted in the initial part of the passage itself. Question number 2. Question number 2. I am seeing battle between B, D, E. Okay, B, D, E. No one for A or C. Okay. No one is for A or C. I am left between B, D, and E. I'm left between B, D, and E. Okay, what does the question say? It says, according to the passage, The editors of Nightingale's letters credit her with contributing to which of the following? The development of a nurse's training curriculum that was far in advance of its day. Where is it mentioned in the passage? Is it mentioned anywhere? It's not. It's a fact-based question. I have to tell what the letters credited her for. B cannot be my answer. This could be a possible inference. This is not what those letters have specifically said. This could be one of the possible outcomes of whatever work she did, but this is not what the letters credited her for. I am left between B, D and E. Establishment of the first facility for training nurses at the major British university. The creation of an organization for monitoring the peacetime living conditions of British soldiers. Let's go to the paragraph where we are talking about the Nightingale's letters. The editors of a new volume of Nightingale's letter view her as a person who significantly influenced not only her own age but also subsequent generations. Exactly, RC doesn't say first at all. They highlight her ongoing efforts to reform sanitary conditions after the war. For example, when she learned the peacetime living conditions in British barracks were so horrible, she succeeded in persuading the government to establish a royal commission on the health of the army. She used sums raised, etc., etc. I believe that the evidence of her letters support continued respect for her brilliance and creativity. While it's during a counseling of a village schoolmaster to using their faculties of observation, etc., etc. Coming to the question number 2, the creation of the establishment of the first facility for training nurses. No, was it mentioned as the first facility anywhere? But she did this. She did this after realizing that the peacetime living conditions were very bad. This is my correct answer. Option number E is my correct answer for question number 2. Perfect. Question number 3. Nayan says D, Udeshya says A, Tushar says A, Ishan A, Pratap A. It's going A versus D. Karunya A, Anushka A, Saransh A, Shweta A, Madhura A, Anju A. Yes, the correct answer is A. The correct answer is A. Option number A. Let's see why not D, because I guess a couple of you marked D. Let me tell why not D. She was supported by the military establishment but had to fight the governmental bureaucracy. No, government agreed to her suggestions, and that's why that peacetime living conditions were improved by the government. That's where government supported her. She throughout had the support of government as well. She was highly respected. Her projects were receiving popular and governmental support. Popular means of the public. Governmental support means government. Option number D, the first part is correct, that she was supported by military establishment, but the second part is not correct, that she had to fight for governmental bureaucracy, because she got the governmental support as well. Okay, my correct answer is option number A. Option number A is my correct answer. Last question. Shoot your answers for question number 4. Monisha D, Snehal D, Anushka D, Udeshya D, Snehal D. Madhura says B. Compared with the conditions before the war, they had deteriorated. Okay. Anjali says D. Okay, the correct answer is option number D. D for Delhi. D is the correct answer. Yes, Anushka, it's clearly mentioned in paragraph 2. So, Madhura, compared with the conditions before the war, they had deteriorated, would mean that after the war, yes, I'm telling you, Madhura, that would mean that after the war, things kept on getting worse. But if you would see, this is something which was observed during the war itself, that the conditions in the military camp were worse than the neighboring civilian population. It is directly mentioned in paragraph 2. And later on, she started to work with government and every other different bodies to improve it. Conditions thereafter improved. They did not deteriorate. She started to set up things to improve the conditions after seeing in the war that how bad they were compared to the neighboring civilian population. So post-war, they started to improve. They did not deteriorate. My option B could have been an answer if it said compared with conditions before the war, they had improved. Do you get the difference, Madhura, that why am I not marking B and why am I going for D? Do you still have any doubt? Perfect. Great. So how many of you in the last passage got 3 or 4 correct? I guess most of you got second question wrong. If you have got 3 correct, most of you got the second question wrong, but 3 or 4 correct. Parinay, good. Good, good, good. Okay. How many of you got 10 plus correct out of 14? 10 plus correct out of 14. Parinay, good. Ishan, good. Anushka, good. Karunya, Arshi, Anjali, PS, Pratap, that's fine. That's fine. Tushar, not bad at all. Nayan, Shweta, good. Perfect. So I guess these sessions where we are doing these kind of questions in live classes, they are helping you. Madhura, no need to worry at all. You have good enough time to prepare, and 7 is not bad at all. Ashin, 8, again, keep analyzing, and you will improve. Great. So I hope these sessions are useful. We'll keep continuing with these sessions. Yes, Pratap, they do. Nayan, start solving RC topic tests in your course. Start solving RC topic tests in your course. There are lots and lots of topic tests of RCs in your course. Anushka, please email me with the topics which you have already completed and are confident of. I will send you the study plan accordingly. Okay, so Anushka, if you have sent me and if I have not already sent you the study plan, you will be getting it within next half an hour. We will continue with these sessions. Vani, I will request you to watch all the RC videos in your course. They are going to help you both in the pre-recorded section and in the live classes section. They will help you, Vani, and then you start solving RC topic tests from the course material. And after every test, analyze your test, see where you went wrong, and you can ask your doubts. Plus, you will also be able to see that what type of questions are you making mistakes and what is the reason for those mistakes, and you will gradually keep on reducing the number of mistakes. Tushar, you should be able to solve around 60 to 70% of the RCs with 80 to 90% accuracy. Anushka, I guess we have already provided for con. For verbal, it's not there. I will provide you for the verbal as well. Vani, for vocab, go through the vocabulary ebook in your course and couple it with GRE Baron High Frequency World List PDF available in free on Google. These two things will take care of your vocabulary part. No need to go for World Power Made Easy. Okay, great. So thank you everyone for joining. I hope the session was of some use. Thank you. Have a good day ahead. Thank you, Parinay. Thank you, Vani. Thank you, Karunya.